Looks like my cue. Hey everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. This is the live stream as we're diving into a fresh Friday fun fest of the weird and unusual, but you know the drill, most of you. I saw someone named Audacious Amber come in. That's a cool name. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in and checking out the show. Hopefully you enjoy it and choose to make it a home of your own, because that's always on the table here. We love meeting new people and having more of you with us. So how you doing, Batman? How you doing, Kitty Cattywhack? Rachel gets it right, John Temprin, and so many more. I got Kat Doherty in here. Just scrolling. Aussie Tigers in here. Good to see you guys. And let's see. I'm doing this cold. I always do this terribly. I don't have any smooth system for doing this, for saying hi to everybody. Hardwick was the first one in the gate tonight. That was really cool. Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming in. I think I need a little more volume in my headset. There we go. Now I can hear myself a little better. Hopefully you're hearing me just fine, but let me know in the chats if you're not seeing everything. Over in Rumble, we got Barbara Mora and HB Girl to You, which is Lucky Gypsy. She's over there. Keeping an eye on Twitch for us as well. Not that much is going on Twitch, but we're still throwing streams over there because maybe, just maybe, somebody's going to go, hey, what's this? And give us a shot. Sound is great. Thank you, Aussie. Appreciate it. I hope so. Hi, Deborah Neighbors. Good to see you. Sinfully Wicked just came in. Good to see you. Annie Manuel, great to have you here. Hi, Gypsy over on Twitch. Good to see you. And I think that's bringing us current to the people that are coming in chatting. And of course, chatting is not a prerequisite to being a part of the community. You can kick back, grab a libation of your choice. Tonight I got some sparkling spring water. Nothing exciting. No, there's no screwball here tonight. I mean, there is, but I didn't dish up any for the show. But hey, SoCal, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Hello to all of you guys, and thank you so much for spending the evening. Tommy Cooper, came in the door. Good to see you, brother. Of course, Tommy Cooper was featured with Jason Trost. They are both the creative team behind Cryptovania, and they joined me on this week's podcast. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. The video podcast is loaded up to YouTube and is live. I'm going to get it up on Spotify and Rumble as soon as possible. So I'm falling behind. Actually went with the Minion today on a school field trip, and that was fun. That was fun. Brent, very libacious. That's a really big word for my mind, but I sound smart reading it, didn't I? I guess Gruntardo, good to see you. Everybody's coming in the door. That's what I love about these shows, and I know I say it all the time, but it's just a kick in the ass, kick in the pants to turn on the lights, and so many of you guys come in and take part in the journey that is the Paranormal Portal. So thank you so much for that. We are waiting on Sheldon, who will appear as soon as he's able to. But until then, I'm going to do my best to keep you guys entertained and occupied, because we got a lot to get to tonight. I've got, of course, the news right around the corner. Paranormal Portal News, where we cover articles dealing with some paranormal stuff and some interesting stuff. I don't know. It's just kind of a hodgepodge of things that I grab and think, wow, this would be kind of fun to talk about, or maybe interesting, or maybe you learn something. I don't know. It's always the objective of the news to bring something new to the table every time. Hi, Grateful Owl. Good to see you. Thank you so much. And I got mail today, and that was really cool. I got mail, folks. I got a brand new keyboard. Okay, let me grab it. I did unpack it early because it was a big box, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to unpack that. I don't think I have the room to unpack that live on the show, but I went down and checked the P.O. box today, and there was a friendly package waiting for me. Now, if you're not familiar with it, let me just do this. Let me do this. All right. Just to bring you all up to speed, in case you're not following me on social media. I have to show you guys this, because this is, sometimes people have asked, well, let's see a picture of what you see, and so I it's a huge mess here. Everything off camera is just like a bomb went off, so I'm like, I'm not going to give you guys the panning tilt and big vision of all my crap everywhere, but I try to keep it cleaned up, at least what's on camera. So it looks like I know what the hell I'm doing, but at any rate, I decided, well, I'm going to show people my keyboard, because I'm at this studio desk probably about 14 to 16 hours every day of the week. I mean, I'm in here. This is my thing. This is what I'm doing, working on the shows and working on, ideas and projects for the shows. So, I was like, well, let me do this. Hold on. I got to open this up and get this ready. But I thought, I can at least show you guys this, so you guys can see the kind of mileage that gets that happens here on the Paranormal Portal. And here it is. I didn't even realize it, because of course I'm here every day. I'm working on this computer and doing stuff, and I look down and I'm like, oh my God. Now forgive the fact that it probably needs to be taken outside and hosed down, because it's just, I'm not coming in here tidying up, so to speak. But here, ladies and gentlemen, is my keyboard as it exists right now. I just realized that I can type, I don't need to look at the keys and stuff, but I just realized you can't see A, S, D, F, E, mostly C is gone, L, O, and I've worn through the space bar, actually worn through the coding on the shift, the space bar, and all these keys. And I'm like, wow, this thing has really got some mileage. So I put that out there, and I got mail, folks, because did I put it up? Yeah, I put it up on screen so you guys can see it. So I got mail today, and just so you can see, that's what I'm working with here every day. That's some good mileage. Yeah. And honestly, the keyboard's like an old friend. I mean, I've just been using it so long. It's comfortable. I don't know, but I really thought this was cool, because listener Jeanette reached out to me. She said, I got another keyboard, and I don't use it. It's sitting in the closet. And I'm like, a closet and a keyboard? There should be laws against this. So today I got mail. And what did I get in the mail? Well, I got a new headset as well. She sent me a headset, which is really cool. But she also sent me this fine, brand new, rechargeable keyboard that will probably be implemented here in the Paranormal Portal studio. I don't know, it's not really easy to see. This is all dark. But there you go. It's a brand new, never been used keyboard. Rechargeable, wireless, backlit keyboard. Very cool, very pretty. And that's going to be introduced into the studio setup sometime in the future here. But it's nice to have. It's a nice to have a spare. So thank you. Yeah, it's like a favorite pair of underwear. You're right, Cool Hand. I got some underwear where I could probably just wear a waistband and just forget about the rest of it because there's a lot of worn threads on them. But thank you so much. And she also sent a little letter. And the headset that she sent is also wireless and rechargeable, which is really cool because I needed a new set of earphones for my studio stuff. And she says, "Hi, Brent. I apologize for not including the manual. I lost it. The brand is Terracue or whatever that says, and YouTube has vids for this model. I hope you like the previously closeted keyboard." From Jeanette. I love it. Thank you so much. That was so cool. And it's nice to have at least until I implement it, it'll be nice to know that it's there because I have no idea when this one's going to poop the bed. I don't know when that's going to happen. But additionally, she sent me these, which is Altigo headset. And this is a wireless headset as well. Or wired or wireless. I don't know. They're rechargeable. It does have a cord for connecting, but it also has a charging cord and another headset that I can use for making music. So thank you so much, Jeanette. That was so cool. I really enjoyed it. It was fun to open and unpackage, and it was very thoughtful and sweet of you. If you ever want to send anything to me here at the Paranormal Portal, go to paranormalportal.net and go to the bottom of the page. There's a P.O. box down there. It's P.O. Box, 483, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. And that's how you can send things to me if you have anything you want to send. Not that I want everybody emptying their drawers and sending me boxes of stuff, but if you think it's thoughtful, then I would love it. I would love it. Brent, the Ghost Radar isn't on. Thank you, Rachel. I knew I was forgetting something. That's what it was. The Ghost Radar. Let me do this. What is the date today? The date is the 20th, so let's get the Ghost Radar on. That's like the Doppler radar if you're new to the show. Yeah, that was the 0. Sorry. 2024. It also does a log. That's why I do that. So Ghost Radar is on. This is like our weather. This is built into my computer. It's an old app. I've had it for well over a decade, like 15 years. And it does use the magnetometer, the wireless magnetometer, so it can detect EM anomalies, electromagnetic anomalies. Does it mean it's for sure paranormal? No. But it's kind of weird, kind of anomalous to have these weird EM spikes going on. And if it hisses, if you hear this and red dots appear on that little circle right here where I'm circling on the radar, that is supposed to be in a 3-dimensional space around me up to 20 yards away, I think is what it is. It'll detect around 20 feet or 20 yards. I can't remember what it is. But send Brent a Slayer shirt. No, that's okay. If you want to send one for Don, that's great. Don loves all that stuff. But I'm not much into wearing band shirts unless it's my band. And I don't have a band right now. So anyway, I still have Ghost Radar as well. Yeah, I think it's fun. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's paranormal, but it could be paranormal. And so, take it or leave it, but it's just been kind of a fun addition. This thing also has a word database that'll spit out words sometimes. It's kind of interesting. Sometimes they're relevant. Sometimes they're just absolutely random. Like I'll be talking about ghosts or something and it'll say like thumbtack or something. It's like, okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. But at any rate, that is there and it is on screen. So keep an eye on that. If you see some dots, let me know. If it doesn't hiss, I don't usually notice it, or if it doesn't spit out a word. So if you see a lot of dots around, let me know in the chat, because that means there's a front moving in on the radar. I'm just saying. All right. Anyway, Oi, can't type. I quit. Oh, don't quit. It's okay. Typing is not a prerequisite here. Hi, Sam. Good to see you. Who else came in? Charles Centers. Great to see you, Charles. Thank you so much for coming in, checking out the show. We appreciate it. Hopefully you feel like you found a home here. All of you guys, all you new listeners, it's always wonderful to meet you guys. What else from Paranormal Portal except paranormal? Well, that is our wheelhouse, John. That's what we do here. I can't say we do it well, but we do it as well as we can. And that's got to be good enough. So anyway, I guess it's about time to dive into the news. I'll pull up the articles that I've pulled up for you and hopefully you enjoy them. Thumbtack, we all deep Google the historical meaning of thumbtack. I know you guys have been great about that. You guys are even like when it spits out random numbers, it'd be like, you guys will look for dates and relevant dates in history and stuff. It's like, wow, that's pretty amazing. You guys are great co-hosts always. So I guess without further ado, let's get to the news. I'm about to news you up. So buckle up, we're going in. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Paranormal Portal News, and I'll be your anchor, Brent Thomas, here at the Paranormal Portal News Desk. Now, throughout the course of the shows, we utilize a lot of different sites. I say this at the beginning of every show, but I couldn't be more sincere. I really want you guys to support these sites. These sites are amazingly well done. They are amazingly professionally handled and current and just awesome sources of information that we can cover here on the show. And the very least that I can do is say, guys, stop over and check these sites out. Give them your traffic, give them your love, because your traffic does equal revenue. And that helps to keep the lights on. We don't want to lose any of these sites. So love them, support them, visit them. And if you're paying attention to the show, chances are you're already into this kind of information anyway. And these are great resources. So please utilize them. The first site we use, which is basically the news, is unexplained-mysteries.com. We've got a few different articles. Not all of them are paranormal, but hopefully they're interesting. So let's check this out. This one comes, I guess it's a good idea. It's a good thing because I guess it's always something we have to at least be cognizant about. And this is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com. The article is Improvements in Asteroid Detection Could Save Us from a Catastrophe. I didn't look at how big this is. This is plenty big. I don't think we're going to read a lot of it. I can just say, first of all, good. That's good. We want to know when huge ass rocks are heading towards us. So, let us know so we can duck and cover and get under our desks and be safe. Not that probably ever worked. In fact, it most certainly wouldn't have worked in a nuclear conflict, but it made us feel good, and I guess we could feel good ducking and covering from an asteroid as well. So I'm glad they're getting better at figuring out where they are and if they're going to hit us. I guess I just heard recently, too, we're going to pick up a new moon for a couple months here on Earth. We're not going to be able to see it because it's pretty small, but it's going to be some asteroid or something we're picking up, and it's going to be circling us for a couple months. I just started talking, and the coughing starts. I maybe should talk more during the day. Maybe that's my problem. I don't talk enough during the day. I'm sitting here in silence in my little creative bubble. And then it comes showtime and it's like, oh, talk. And my lungs are like, all right. So anyway, let's get to this. Astronomers are getting better and better at detecting asteroids. And this could one day save us all. Good enough for me. This is written by Daniel Brown. Isn't that the guy that wrote it's not the same name as the what the hell was it? Da Vinci Code. Isn't that Dan Brown? Anyway, I don't think it's the same one. On September 4th, 2024, astronomers discovered an asteroid 1 meter in diameter heading towards Earth. The space rock would burn up harmlessly in the atmosphere near the Philippines later that day. Officials announced nevertheless, it produced a spectacular fireball that was shared in videos posted on social media. That was only a meter across. That's not very big. The object known as RW1, I love the romanticism they put in these astronomical naming. It's like, oh, look at that beautiful planet. Let's call it SB48V2. It's like, man, don't let NASA name stuff. It's not very, very eloquent. Is only the 9th asteroid to be spotted before impact, but what of much bigger, more dangerous asteroids would our warning systems be able to detect all the asteroids that are capable of threatening us on the ground? I'm going to go with no, probably not. They need money is I think where this is heading. So let's see how much money they need. Asteroid impacts have influenced every large body in the solar system, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We know that. That's, case in point, the dinosaurs. Okay. Next, asteroids are the material left over. Okay, next, we know that they're big rocks in space. The statistic models predict nearly 1 billion such objects should exist, and we only know a very few of them. That's not good. All right, astronomers are interested in whether in the same area of sky something is moved with respect to the stars from one night to another. Anything that is moved could be an asteroid. Observing its positions over a longer period allows team members to determine its exact path. Okay, so they're coming up with more predictive modeling because they're looking at the night sky. Interesting stuff. They're getting better. Rest assured. Go to bed. Nothing to see here. Good night. Sweet dreams. I don't know. I'm sure they're going to get better and better at it. There's a lot of crap out there, and we probably a lot of stuff. Maybe the billion is a real small number too. Who knows? I mean, stuff's crashing in space all the time. That next, supernovas and planetary stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of an idiot, so I don't know much about it. But I'm smart enough to know space is big. It's full of crap. So some of that crap could be coming at us. Let's be careful. All right, let's move on to the next article because, I don't know, that one's pretty dry. I was expecting a little more information and less science lesson, but anyway. Good. I mean, I'm sure it's well written. I'm not criticizing the article writers, but for the sake of the show, it's not very entertaining. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is also from unexplained-mysteries.com. Did I switch? There we go. Findings of major new study into the origins of the COVID pandemic published. If it says wet market, I'm throwing this article away. Let's get into this. See where is it from? I think we all know where it's from, but let's see what it says. The international study aimed to get to the bottom of the pandemic and determine precisely where it had started. This is your tax dollars at work, folks. International tax dollars. The Wuhan lab, I think, is probably a great start. Jon Stewart had that nailed on Stephen Colbert's show. I bet they're probably taking millions of dollars just to figure out where it came from. All right. Anyway, the coronavirus pandemic. Oh, the history lesson. Okay. How big is this one? This one isn't so bad. While most people agree that it began in China, there's been a great deal of disagreement over whether the virus had started in a, it says wet market, or if it escaped from a laboratory. Okay, I'm done. That's it. I'm not even going to entertain that wet market thing. That was just a bunch of crap. I'm sorry, folks. I don't do the, conspiracy stuff because I don't think I'm intelligent enough to do it. I don't research this stuff enough, but even I know that didn't come from a bat in a wet market or something. Come on. As Jon Stewart said, there's a lab, the Wuhan novel coronavirus lab in Wuhan, and that's where it started. Okay, we're gonna be done with that one too. As soon as they said wet market, they lost my interest. How about you? Did you want to hear more? Who funded the study? I don't know. I could throw out about 15 names now that would probably get a bunch of people pissed off. But I'm not going to do that because that's not what the show is about. So Sinfully Wicked says, I'm with you, Brent. And I was working in the medical field during COVID. Wow. My heart goes out to you because that must have been a mess. Yep. Good call. Yeah, we're done with that. I'm not gonna, if they're wasting money, they're trying to justify that it came from a wet market. I'm over. They're doing gain of function research on stuff. They shouldn't be. You don't mess with nature. Nature already has a perfect balance. We don't need more like things like killer bees, and God only knows what else they've managed to engineer for our benefit. Just quit poking stuff with sticks. Just leave it alone. Yeah, maybe John Temperate, you might be right. Anyway, let's continue on because there's 2 more news articles. I ended up having to gloss over the first 2 pretty quickly, not because I'm criticizing Unexplained Mysteries. It's awesome, but I just can't suffer the fools. I can't suffer the fools today, and I can't go into science lessons on the course of the show. All right, here we go. Unexplained-mysteries.com brings us the 3rd article tonight. This is from Science and Technology. Scientists discover new 3rd state between life and death. Now, this one did seem interesting. So let's see what it says. It's not quite Frankenstein's monster, but the find is likely to push the boundaries of life, death, and medicine. Oh, God, how long is this? No, it's another huge one. What the hell? Let's read a little bit about it, and I'll put a link in the chats if you guys want to read more. Life and death are traditionally viewed as opposites, but the emergence of new multicellular life forms from the cells of a dead organism introduces a 3rd state that lies beyond the traditional boundaries of life and death. Usually, scientists consider death to be the irreversible halt of functioning of an organism as a whole. However, practices such as organ donation highlight how organs, tissues, and cells can continue to function even after an organism's demise. This resilience raises the question, what mechanisms allow certain cells to keep working after an organism has died? We are researchers who investigate what happens within organisms after they die. In our recently published review, we describe how certain cells, when provided with nutrients, oxygen, bioelectricity, and biochemical cues, have the capacity to transform into multicellular organisms with new functions after death. Wow, that sounds like it does sound interesting, but again, this is a paranormal show, and it might be a step towards Frankenstein's monster, so it might be kind of paranormal or necromantic or something. I don't know, but I'm going to put the article in the chats, and you guys can decide if that is something you want to check out on your own. It might be. And chances are there's a lot of great, interesting information in there. It's just, I don't, have the time or probably the ability to try to make that make any sense. So check it out. Smarter people than me are in this audience, and you guys can tell me what the hell it says. Sounds interesting, though. 3rd state, life and death, and whatever the 3rd state is. Didn't even get to the name. That's how thorough we are here on the Paranormal Portal News. All right, let's get to the next one and the last one for the news. However, I do have some other articles we're going to hit on as well, which are kind of newsworthy and newsy, but I didn't include them in the news segment because they can be in a segment all by themselves. All right, here we go. I actually did have a comment from the cheap seats that I was going to post, but I'll maybe do that tomorrow if I remember. There was a good one. It was kind of snarky as hell, but I thought it was kind of fun. Anyway, it's funny. Even when I get crappy comments like that, what the hell happened? Nothing happened. Why did it give me that? Oh, there it is. My computer is trying to catch up with me. I was asking far too much. But anyway, I'll try to do the comments from the cheap seats tomorrow on the show if I remember. All right, here's the last article of the night. And the news, and this is super clear metallic disc-shaped UFO photographed over China, folks. This is from the UFO Phenomena. This person, TK Randall, is just the heart of all of these articles. And while it may be more of a compiler of articles from other sources, still, amazing job. Well done. All right, the surprisingly clear image, which was captured over the city of Xiamen, has been circulating social media in recent days. While many photographs of UFOs tend to be distant, blurry, or otherwise indistinct, now and again an image comes along that defines this trend due to its impressive and unusual level of clarity. Captured on camera over the Chinese city of Xiamen by a photographer known only as Syronym, I guess. Excuse me. This remarkable image shows a smooth, disc-shaped metallic object high up in the sky. The UFO is surprisingly clear and stands out well against the backdrop of some sun-illuminated clouds. Exactly what it is, however, remains a topic of debate. Could this be some sort of drone or balloon, or is it evidence of visitors from another world? You can check out the image for yourself below. Oh, look at that. That's pretty darn good, actually. Wow. That's pretty impressive. I'm going to click it and see what happens here. If we get a bigger version, because it's being hosted on X. Which account was it? I didn't even pay attention. Let's take a look. From Nelson Valdez, I guess. Let's look at the first image here. Yeah, looks like it's far away, right? It's not like somebody just lobbed a hubcap. Like maybe, in the 50s, I think there was quite a few people just lobbing hubcaps and taking shots of it. But this does appear to be quite a bit in the distance, at least. It's hard to quantify, I guess. But, there's a zoom in by Syronym, and there it is. Look at that. It's got a weird cross section on the bottom, doesn't it? Huh. That's weird. Now I've often talked about my initial UFO experience, and subsequent to that, after I had that experience, I went out and bought a set of those night vision binoculars. Again, my biggest regret is they have no record function. I can only just see things for myself. But I did see a UFO like this go overhead, which is very similar, I think, to the original UFO that I saw, because it's in the same region, in the same area up here in North Idaho. And it was a round saucer-shaped thing, but it was going right overhead. Like right overhead, maybe, I don't know how far away. I wish I could judge distances, but again, I'm looking through night vision binoculars, and they're only 4-power, but I'm guessing it was probably, maybe 300 yards up from me. And on the underside of it, looking through the, night vision binoculars, it looked like pizza slices. Like it wasn't just smooth. Like sometimes you hear UFO reports, they're very smooth. There's no seams. Well, it looked like what I saw was seams, like these pizza slices, like looking at a pizza flying over, shape, as if it was a perfectly cut pizza pie. I don't know. This one looks very smooth, and that doesn't say that. I'm not meaning to imply that, well, this can't be real because it's not what I saw. I don't pretend they all look the same. Obviously, there's many different variations in what people witness in these UFO UAP reports, but that is pretty interesting. Whatever that is, that's pretty compelling. It might be real. It might be an absolute hoax. It's hard to say. There's just not enough information to even wage a real opinion. But on first blush, could be, right? What do you guys' thought? Let me know. I think it's possible. But at any rate, there you go. That was kind of an abridged version of the news because I managed to pull some encyclopedic articles out that had way more information than I could process in the course of the news. So, again, check out unexplained-mysteries.com if you're interested in looking into those articles more. By all means, please do, and let me know what you think. All right, that is pretty much going to bump up the news. That's going to be about it. That's about all we got time for the news. Ghosts. Oh, Jason, what are you in 3rd grade? Come on. All right, that's going to do it for the news. So let's get back to the rest of the show. Tommy Cooper says that Idaho has 54% of the state available to hike on. You know, I think a big part of that is just because there's a lot of, I mean, there's little spots of civilization, but there's a lot of wilderness here. I mean, there's a lot of unoccupied space that's just forest and mountains and natural areas. It's just really a gorgeous state. It truly is. Montana is also beautiful. Wyoming's beautiful. Even Utah is quite beautiful in their mountainous regions. The high desert's kind of like, yeah, it's a lot of flat, dry stuff. But yeah, I think there's a lot of really, really stunning areas. But you know, if you're ever flying over here on the, especially the Pacific Northwest, if you're flying by plane, I mean, there's just, I know, like, especially at night, there's like an ocean of blackness and maybe little dots here and there spread out as you're like 30 or 40,000 feet up looking down. It's like, yeah, there's hardly anybody up here. Oh my God. Yeah, it is great trout fishing. We catch the hell out of some rainbow trouts around here. We've caught boatloads of them. I mean, they're just really great. My family's from the West Desert in Utah. Oh, very cool. Very cool, SoCal. So that was the news. Hope you guys enjoyed it, found some value in it, and maybe learned something. Skull Valley, I don't know where that is, but is that where they're from? Is that what you're saying, SoCal? That sounds like an awesome place. First of all, we're going to Skull Valley. That sounds pretty impressive. I guess it maybe a lot of things died there. I'm going to guess when they named the place, they went, yeah, a lot of dead things, a lot of bones. I guess we'll call it Skull Valley. Anyway, but yeah, very cool. All right. So, what are we going to do now? I got some articles pulled up. Now, one of them is, let me get it up here first. That didn't sound right at all. Oof. God. It's, I got a rim shot myself. I'm just, sometimes things come out of my mouth. I'm like, ooh, that didn't sound right. All right, here we go. I'm sorry. I'm just marveling at my own stupidity again. All right, here we go. The article I want to get to first is actually written by an acquaintance of mine, and his name is Brent Swancer. Now, he writes for a site very consistently called Mysterious Universe. Mysterious Universe is also a podcast, and an incredible one. I mean, they do an amazing job. Their website is incredible because they have some of the greatest authors penning, and I call Brent Swancer paranormal journalist, because this guy is truly a talented writer. I mean, he does such an incredible job with backgrounds and digging up information. I've tried covering topics that I subsequently would find he did an article on, and my research is nothing compared to what this guy could dig up. I just was marveling at his work, and I've always loved his work through the years, but then I got the chance to get to know him a little bit online, and just an incredibly great guy. He lives in Japan, but he's just a very talented writer. He wrote this article, and I have not read it, so I'll be reading it with you. In fact, if you're new to the show, just so you know, I don't pre-read anything we cover. I just pull headlines and stuff for the shows, and then I read them with you cold for the first time. So that's why I butcher the hell out of names a lot of times, and that's probably not a good thing, but I like the fact that we're learning this stuff together. I think it's kind of fun to dive into these ideas, but this is something definitely on the lighter side of the paranormal and unusual. And maybe it shouldn't be lumped into the paranormal per se, because paranormal just becomes this umbrella of dark, creepy, weird, unusual, scary things in many cases. But in my purview, paranormal just means not normal. So it's not things that normally happen, but they happen. And so this article, I think, will be a really refreshing look at the lighter side of that stuff that doesn't normally happen, but it happens. And people are enriched by these experiences. And again, I haven't pre-read it. I'm just judging it from the headline of the article, but let's get into it. So this comes from mysteriousuniverse.org. And again, another wonderful site. Please check it out. These guys have incredible articles all over the place. Just really, really well done. Sam C says, remember once in the 90s I watched a PBS documentary, and it was a flyover of Idaho, especially northern, and it was so beautiful and desolate. Yeah. I mean, it's gotten quite a bit more populated now. A lot of people have moved in from other states, but it's still really pristine and beautiful up here. Maybe not quite as desolate as it once was, but it's still, I mean, in the 10 years I've lived here, this place has changed so much. Things have popped up, new buildings, new developments, more expanding home sites and stuff. So it's maybe a little disheartening at the same time, but I don't know. It still maintains its beauty, and there's a lot of love for the outdoors up here. All right, so this article, again, from mysteriousuniverse.org is Miraculous Healings, Prophecies, and Mysterious Clouds, The Strange Life of William Branham. Now, I don't know this name, William Branham, before reading this headline, but I was like, oh, cool. Let's read it. And so we're going to dive into this now. Again, please check out mysteriousuniverse.org for a lot more, especially not only from everyone else, but from Brent Swanser, because he truly is incredible at what he does. All right, throughout the history, there have been these people who have become larger than life and almost legendary. Their histories, deeds, and purported powers propelling them to transcend the norm and become almost more than human. Certainly one of these was a reverend who was deeply associated with miraculous abilities, prophetic visions, and strange phenomena. William Marion Branham was born in 1909 near Burkesville, Kentucky, and from an early age he was already claiming mystical experiences. As a child, he claimed that he remembered his birth and that a light came whirling through the window about the size of a pillow and circled around where I was, and I went down on the bed. From the age of 3, he was already claiming to hear messages from God, which alienated him from others of his age and even his own family. When he was 19, he traveled to Phoenix, Arizona in search of a better life, and found himself mostly working on a ranch and other odd jobs, as well as pursuing a career in boxing. But then he would have an experience that would change the course of his life. We are being joined by the Sheldon Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Doing a lot better now.
I didn't share the reason you were running a little late, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you got it. All right.
No.
Understood.
No, but I guess you kind of have now, so.
I excised the demons.
Did you smell their sulfur breath?
Oh, yeah. It was quite the battle.
I'll bet it was. Okay. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Sheldon Thomas to the show as we dive into more of this article. So we're talking about William Marion Branham, who was born in 1909 near Kentucky, claims he has had prophetic visions and hears the voice of God since being a young child. And we're diving into that. So he went to Arizona to try to have a better life. One day in 1929, while working at the Public Service Company of Indiana, Branham was incapacitated by a gas leak and had to be hospitalized. During this time, he would claim that he was contacted by angels and God, and shortly after that, he began attending the First Pentecostal Baptist Church of Jeffersonville, where he converted to Christianity. Not long after this, he became a Baptist minister, and by 1933, he was holding regular tent revival sermons with his charisma and stage presence, making him immediately popular among audiences. Before long, Branham had a huge following, with his interdenominational meetings being some of the largest religious meetings ever held in some American cities. And there's a picture of the guy. I guess he's a dapper-looking individual. Wow. It was 1933 that Branham had a series of 7 prophetic visions that fueled his popularity and garnered him even more followers. In the first vision, he was told that Mussolini would invade Ethiopia and that the nation would fall at his steps, and that Mussolini would come to meet a horrible end at the hands of his own people turning on him. Both things that would come to pass. The second vision foretold that an Austrian by the name of Adolf Hitler would rise up as dictator over Germany and that he would draw the world into war, which we now know happened. The third foretold that there would be three great isms: fascism, Nazism, communism, and that the first two would be swallowed up into the third, with the voice warning that Russia was a major future threat. The fourth vision showed the great advances in science that would come after the Second World War, such as driverless cars and video games. The fifth had to do with increasing women's rights, the sixth predicting a woman rising to great power, and the seventh alluding to Armageddon and the end of the world, with all of America being reduced to nothing but debris, craters, and smoke. Well, let's hope he's wrong on that one. So, besides these prophetic visions, one of the things Branham became most known for was his purported faith-healing abilities and other miracles that supposedly occurred at his congregations. One of the most famous of these healings was that of a young girl who he allegedly healed of tuberculosis in 1942, and he was claimed to be able to miraculously heal all manner of diseases, injuries, and ailments. By 1946, Branham was renowned as a faith healer and indeed was a huge influence on the whole faith healing revival going on at the time all over America, spawning an army of imitators and emulators. His popularity was only further propelled by his claims of angelic visitations at the time, and he would regularly draw in thousands of followers to his sermons, many who claimed to have been healed or have witnessed other miracles at these meetings, including at least one reported resurrection, with rumors of those miracles spreading, and a crack team of publicists at his side. Branham was soon garnering national and international attention, with some of his meetings drawing in tens of thousands of people. In the meantime, Branham was still claiming to have visions and to be at the center of miracles. In 1946, the angel of the Lord apparently met him in a cave near Jeffersonville, saying, "Do not fear. I am sent from the presence of Almighty God. Your peculiar birth and misunderstood life has been to indicate that you're to go to all of the world and pray for the sick people. If you get the people to believe you and be sincere when you pray, nothing shall stand before your prayers, not even cancer." Wow, that's pretty specific.
Wow.
In January of 1950, Branham had other supposed miracles during a series of services in Houston, Texas. During one of these services, a Baptist minister and a doctor who disagreed with the idea of divine healing challenged Branham to a debate on the matter. Branham refused, but one of his followers, a brother, Fred F. Bosworth, accepted, and the debate was carried out. The challenger seemed to soundly lose the debate, and finally Burnham came to the podium and declared that if the gift was in question, then God speaks for himself. At that moment, a pillar of fire allegedly formed over Branham's head and Burnham's head. I guess I'm mispronouncing that all the way through the article. Burnham. And was photographed, although skeptics point out that it was likely just a play of light on the lens. Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I mean, it's like it missed him.
Yeah.
It's like, here's his head and here's the pillar of light going, nope. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if there's people working miracles, that's amazing and wonderful, but I'm not so sure this is the guy. Anyway, in 1960, Branham claimed that he had journeyed beyond the curtain of time and would say of it, "Oh, my precious friend, my beloved, my darlings of the gospel, my begotten children unto God, listen to me, your pastor. I wish there was some way I could explain it to you. There's no words. I couldn't find it. It's not found anywhere. But just beyond the last breath and the most glorious thing that you ever, there is no way to explain it. There's just no way. I just can't do it. But whatever you do, friends, lay aside everything else till you get perfect love. Get to a spot that you can love everybody, every enemy, everything else." I like that part of the message. That's pretty good. "That one visit there to me has made a different man. I can never, never, never be the same brother Branham. Now it's Branham. What the hell? Is it me or is
You're
this
right.
me?
No,
Okay.
it's not you.
All right. Yeah, so it wasn't just me. All right, good. All right, Brent, you set me up. That I was. Whether the planes are rocking, whether lightnings are flashing, whether the spies has a gun on me, whether it doesn't matter. I'm going to press the battle by the grace of God while I preach the gospel to every creature and every person that I can, persuading them to that beautiful end yonder. Land yonder. Sorry, land. That was an L there. I thought maybe it was a parenthesis. Anyway, a few years later in December 1962, William Branham began claiming to have had a vision of 5 angels that would come from the heavens in the form of a pyramid somewhere outside of Tucson or Arizona. And he traveled west hoping to see this for himself, also claiming that these 5 angels would bring him the message from the Lord, arranging to go there for a hunting trip, rather oddly, in February of 1963. A highly unusual cloud formation formed somewhere over Flagstaff, Arizona, which was photographed and appeared in Life magazine and Science magazine. At the time, it was seen as a highly anomalous atmospheric phenomena and an abstract on the event by the James E. McDonald Institute of Atmospheric Physics, University of Arizona. Tucson describes it as follows. An unusual ring-shaped cloud was widely observed over northern Arizona near sunset on 28th of February, 1963, from a large number of observers. Reports it is known to have appeared overhead near Flagstaff, Arizona. From initial computations based on 4 photos taken in Tucson, 190 miles south of the cloud, its altitude was approximately 35 kilometers. The most distant observation recorded was made 280 miles from the cloud. The cloud remained sunlit for 28 minutes after local sunset. Iridescence was noted by many observers. Tentatively, the cloud may be regarded as similar to a nacreous cloud. I don't know if that's right, but that's how I'm going to say it. But its unusually great height and unusually low altitude, plus its remarkable shape, suggests that it was a cloud of previously unrecorded type. Well, that's cool. Near sunset on the 20th of February, 1963, a cloud of unusual configuration and coloration was observed widely scattered localities in Arizona and some surrounding states. The cloud took the form of a large oval ring clear in the middle with a long axis running north and south. It remained brightly illuminated well after the sun had set on high cirrus clouds to the west from Tucson, 190 miles west to the south, rather. Its angular elevation appeared to be about 6 degrees, a rough computation of its height based on sunset geometry made immediately after the cloud entered the Earth's shadow, led me to appeal by press and radio for confirmatory reports in order to establish the approximate location and to secure descriptions from the largest possible number of observers. Okay. Well, I don't know how much of that we want to read. There's and a high cloud ring of mystery. Is this the cloud? Okay. All right. Very cool. I love Brent Swancer's writings, but they do get, he gets every detail. It's just amazing. But that is pretty peculiar, right?
That is. Wow.
While meteorologists pondered on what they saw as a unique atmospheric phenomena, according to Branham, see, it's Branham again, right? It was a constellation of angels with even faces visible in the formation. He would also claim that he had not only predicted the event, but that he had witnessed it himself. He would say of what happened, when I came, one thing was by a vision that I was standing above Tucson up here when a blast went off while Brother Fred was there when it went off, and they took that picture, now you know, in the sky, and I didn't think much about it, never noticed it, so I began to, it began to impress me somehow. Other day, okay. And Brother Norman, Norma's father here, told me, said, did you notice this? And just as I looked, right there was them angels, just as plain as they could be, sitting right there in that picture, see? I looked to see when it was, and it was time. Same, about a day or two before, a day or two after I was up there. I looked where it was at, northeast of Flagstaff, at Prescott, which is below Flagstaff. Well, that's where I was at. See, just exactly. And the blast did just exactly the way it said. Is that right, Brother Fred? And I must have jumped way off of the ground, and just above me was the angels, and the Lord that sent message back for me to come here to break these seals. Uh-oh. Is he going to be a revelatory guy? And now, I didn't know at the time that they were taking pictures of that, scientist was, as the angels lowered themselves from heaven to bring the message. How many saw a mysterious cloud in the sky? You see the hands, and now the Life magazine picked it up, and I have the article here this morning, and the Life magazine of to show. Now here it is. The same time I was there, see the pyramid of the cloud? I was standing just below this, but there was no plane in the district. They've checked it. And then when I was praying on the subject, I was wondering what would happen to me. And you know where I was at? North of Tucson, east of Flagstaff, just exactly positionally where I told you months before it happened. I'd be standing, and exactly according to this paper here, and of papers and this magazine and our own testimony, exactly where it taken place. God is perfect and cannot lie, and it will come to pass. And now the Life magazine picked it up, and I have the article here this morning in the Life magazine to show you. And now here it is. Here it is the same time I was there. Yeah, we covered that, dude. The pyramid in the cloud, I was just standing just below this. The science is baffled. Standing right under where I was, it was happening there. Now, science took the picture of it. You seen it, went on Associated Press. They didn't know what it was. There's a cloud hanging 26 miles high. That's 15 miles or 20 above even where the vapor's at. They don't know what it's all going about. And they're trying to investigate it. And there, right under it, I was standing. Yeah, he's really pretty adamant about making that clear. He was there. All right, I'm going to scroll past that now because it's turning into a me party. See, I told you me, more me now. Mm-hmm. And I don't really respect that as much. It's like, no. All right, he would ramble on and on quite a bit on the cloud and its significance, on about how he had foreseen the appearance of the cloud days before, and it actually appeared on another occasion, explaining, this isn't so bad, I guess. And when they ascended up on high like that, went 30 miles high in the air, and on that same day, they took a picture of it. Science did. Okay, more of that. All right, and he also said that the angels met him and gave him great secrets, of which he says, and I started up on the mountain, running as hard as I could on the other side, and all of a sudden, I thought somebody shot me. I never heard such a blast. It shook the whole country. And when it did, standing before me was 7 angels in a cluster. I met Brother Fred, and them, a little after, said, what was it? And I said, that was it. What are you going to do? Return home. For thus saith the Lord, the 7 mysteries that's been hid in the Bible all those years, those denominations and everything, God is going to open those 7 mysteries to us in the 7 seals. I gave him a little bit of a twang there. I don't know if he had a twang, but I'm giving him one. Well, there was that circle coming from the earth like a mist form, and when it did, it went plumb up into the mountain, began to circle on westward from the way it came. Science found it later after a while, 30 miles. Okay. Yep. See, that's just the way it was. Turned into the same thing. It kept going higher and higher. Okay. There's been many more than one skeptic who has pointed out that not only did Branham get the whole date wrong for the cloud phenomenon, but that he often contradicted himself when retelling the events, and perhaps most damningly, he was nowhere near Flagstaff at the time, instead over 200 miles away at a place called Rattlesnake Mesa, which has affected the credibility of his story. Meteorologists said it was just a strange cloud formation, and the military would claim that it was a result of a military exercise with no mention of angels. So what was going on here? Who knows? In 1964, Brother Branham was hunting at Sunset Klondike when a whirlwind supposedly descended 3 times, and the Lord told him judgment striking West Coast. He took this to mean that a catastrophic earthquake was coming, something that he had intermittently predicted since all the way back in 1935. A matter of days after this, on Good Friday, March 28th, 1964, an earthquake hit Prince William Sound, Alaska, measuring a 9.2 magnitude. The quake was felt over a large area of Alaska and parts of western Yukon Territory and British Columbia, Canada, and to this day remains the largest earthquake to hit North America. Prophecy or a lucky guess? Throughout his career, having skepticism directed at him was nothing new to Branham. He was frequently accused of fraud by investigative news reporters, government agencies, and even fellow ministers and host churches. It was often pointed out that numerous people who he had claimed to have healed had died shortly after their cured conditions, as well as other failed healings, and his supposed miracles were accused of being staged. There were also found to be actors who would appear at numerous services posing as diseased or crippled people to be miraculously cured. Didn't see that coming. Nope. Wouldn't have guessed that would be happening. Several investigators found evidence of fraudulent healings that were either exaggerated or just plain made up, which left a sour taste in the mouths of many who had once fervently believed these fantastic powers, and it eroded their trust. Ern Baxter, who actively participated in most of Branham's campaigns between November 47 and 53, would explain this. I remember in the beginning of the healing movement, simply to report a healing would produce great jubilation and praise from congregations. However, the cynicism became so deep that people's confidence was diminished. Even to this day, people are affected. People began to circulate healing testimonies, which, when they were checked out by reputable journalists and reporters, even those who were friendly to the movement, were found to be false. The percentage of healings that stood up after investigation was embarrassingly low. Branham's also accused of adding a great amount of flourishes and embellishments to facts, and of manufacturing supposed facts about his early life. This reputation caused him critical news coverage and legal issues, and he was banned from practicing in a few countries. Branham also faced harsh criticism for some of the company he kept. He was well known for having deep ties to the KKK. Oh, geez. And perhaps most notoriously, he helped launch and popularize the ministry of Jim Jones. Ooh. Eesh. The founder and leader of the People's Temple, who infamously coaxed a large number of followers into a mass murder-suicide that claimed the lives of 909 commune members, and 302 of them were children, almost all of whom died by drinking Flavor Aid laced with cyanide. Ugh, gross. None of this stopped Branham from amassing millions of converts and followers all over the world. He was a major influence on other religious figures and movements. However, the popularity of the revivalist movement and the faith healing began to wane in the 60s, and this, plus the swelling number of competitors crowding the field, caused Branham's followers to evaporate. Branham kept at it unfettered by falling attendance and starting a teaching ministry, preaching highly controversial doctrines that even had some other religious figures labeling him as a heretic. Among his most ardent followers, he was seen as almost divine, and his group was increasingly seen as being doomsday cult that believed the rapture was impending. In the meantime, Branham continued to travel to churches to conduct sermons all the way up to his death by car accident on December 24th, 1965. Even in death, there were those that expected him to be resurrected, and he continues to have followers to this day spread out throughout the world. Wow. It's hard to know just how much of Branham's claims were legitimate and how much was hokum. It's impossible to know whether he really did have the powers of insight or contact into otherworldly forces. Similarly, we can't really know just exactly what the mystery cloud was or how much of that connection Branham had with it. What we do know is that he was definitely a colorful character with a strange life and a reputation larger than life persona that elevates him into the realm of truly mysterious people. Well, there you go. That's
wow.
Not nearly as uplifting as I was hoping it would
Not
be.
even close.
That was just kind of disgusting, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it. Uh-oh. Are you there?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay. There you go.
No.
I just had a huge leg
Yes.
spite. It was like,
Yeah, I heard that.
yeah. Try closing some applications. Okay, I'll close this article. Let me just look and see if there's other things I can close. I think I can close this. That'll do.
I mean, if you're gonna lie about things, why not do things that are like hard to verify? Why things that are easy?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like him being 200 miles away from the cloud formation or whatever, and be like, "Yeah, I was there." It's like that's
really not
pretty
where
easy
you
to
were.
verify. What do you mean?
Turns out you weren't even close.
Yeah, 200 miles away. My God.
Yeah, that's a big change there. I've closed a
Yeah.
couple of things there. All right. Hopefully that helps make it
Yeah.
not as...
SoCal, absolutely a fraudster. Yeah,
Yeah, it does. And it's sad. I mean, it is sad.
it's too bad.
It is too bad. It is too bad. It is too sad. But, you know, what do you do? What do you do? Well, I'm here to tell you there's other things we got to cover. And by God, we're going to do that. What time is it now? It is 8:06. This is about perfect because I got a couple things from Sasquatch Chronicles that really aren't cryptid related, but they're interesting. I like these articles that Wes has been posting into other stuff. And I think it's worth covering because this stuff is incredibly fascinating. All right. So we're going to head over to Sasquatch Chronicles, not for the cryptid corner, but just for some darn good news. At least
Wow.
good articles, not good news necessarily.
News. Wait a minute.
You know, just information. Darn good information. Maybe that's a better way to say it. If you're new to the show, this is all absolutely unrehearsed and unscripted.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah.
we have no idea what we're going to say from one second to the next. And that's clear if you listen long enough.
That statement wasn't in the script. No, I was kidding.
What was I thinking? Oops. Dang it. I let out the secret. No, everybody knew. You know, there's some guy he actually looks like Charles Howard Johnson, who I investigate with, but he plays guitar. It's just videos I found on. This is just a stupid side note that, you know, my attention span of a mosquito. It just came to my mind, but he plays guitar and he sings songs in the voice of Cartman, and it's hilarious.
Really?
Oh my God, this guy is so funny. And I can't remember his name, but I've caught a few of his videos and I'm just like, oh my God, that's brilliant.
What's
his
name? I gotta look him.
I don't know, but he's got like really dark beard. He wears a cap, and then he's sitting there in his headphones with a microphone and an acoustic guitar, and he's killing it. I mean, he's doing great, and it sounds exactly like Cartman. It's so hilarious. Oh, Chucky knows. He says, "Oh yeah, that guy." So
What guy?
What's his
What's the
name?
name?
Anybody can find the name. Put it in the chat. That guy is hilarious. I caught a few of the songs he's done. It's just so funny. Hey, Dog Digger, good to see you. Good to see you over in the Rumble chat. Great to see you. All right, so we're going to head over to Sasquatch Chronicles for just another nugget of information that I'm serving up fresh here on the portal for you. Thanks to Wes letting us use it. Yeah, the Cartman dude. Oh, that's not his name, Chucky. That's a cop out.
Dude, wow.
Hey, guys. No, but he sings it. He sings it just like Cartman. He's brilliant. The guy's brilliant. Even all the mannerisms and stuff, and just changing the words and doing the squeaky parts.
Cartman guitar singer. I'm just going.
All right, see if you can find it. It's just hilarious. The guy is so funny.
Oh my God, I found him.
Did you?
It worked. Okay.
Can you send me a link? I'll play just a little bit of it on the show. It's just so funny. I can't believe it. If you like South Park, but this guy is so funny. I gotta show you a clip of it. I'm going over to
Fernando Euphrates.
His name's Fernando. Okay. Did you already send it? Oh,
I'm gonna put it in the chat here.
So no. Put it in my thing. Send it to me first, and then put it in the chat a second.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay.
Just make it a little easier on me, huh?
All right. Well,
Come on, guys.
And use the Discord then.
No, use Flakebook, whatever. I've got it open right here.
That's a good name for it, actually.
Use Flakebook.
That's a really good name for it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm here all night.
My Lord, you're so picky.
I've got an agenda here. Then share it with everybody after I do the debut, because this is hilarious.
All right, debut. There you go.
All right, I'm opening it. Let me,
My Lord.
Oh, you gave me his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting a shark. Wait, who is it? No, he's doing. No, I want him to do the Cartman ones. Where's the Cartmans?
Oh, the ghost came to visit too.
Felt.
What does it say? Felt. Felt. F-E-L-T. Felt.
Felt.
Yeah. Where is he? Cartman. Cartman sings The Kids Aren't All Right. Cartman sings Sweet Caroline. Oh, yeah, this will be a good one. Sweet Caroline. Cartman. All right, I'm going to drag it over here. Let me make sure it's not on screen yet. Okay. All right, good. All right, hold on. I'm going to drag it. This is a Neil Diamond song. Wait, I should do this, yeah? Just a sec. Let me do this. Pulling it over. Freeze. Drop that link. Okay. Okay, so the guy's name, I'm going to put it up here for everybody to see because this guy is so funny. Fernando Ufret. This guy is, I mean, he's just brilliant. He sounds just like Cartman. So, let's get to it. All right, Cartman. Let's see. Cartman sings Sweet Caroline. Here you go, folks. I'm just going to play a little bit of it. I don't want to copyright strike, but I hope we can do this right.
Baby, begin. You got. I can begin to know it, but then I know I'm going strong. Seriously, guys. Was it the spring? And spring became the summer.
Okay. All right, that's about all I can play.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Wow.
The guy is so good. Yes. It's so funny how he does that. He just works on all the mannerisms and stuff. The guy's brilliant. So check him out on YouTube. I'm going to promote him here. I don't know why, but it just cracks me up. Something fierce. I just love it when Cartman does like Sailing Away on South Park and stuff. It just cracks me up.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, yep, I have to do the bums bit. What's that? What's the bums bit?
What?
Seriously?
Bums bit?
Seriously, guys. Yeah, so there you go. If you like South Park, if you're any kind of fan of South Park, there you go. That's definitely paranormal. What did Abby Normal say?
Abby Normal?
Abby Normal? Is there someone in here named Abby Normal? Sarah Ramirez is here. Yeah, Baby Rocket. I'm just telling you. Gotta share the entertainment. It's not just paranormal here. It's just kind of a variety show of a bunch of stupid crap, but I love it. I love it. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Or Abby Normal. Oh, like the brain? Yeah, it had a name on it. What up, Brent and Sheldon? Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. Thank you so much.
Sarah.
Thanks for coming in, being a part of the journey.
That's right.
Love you too. All right, here we go. So we're going to get into this article from Sasquatch Chronicles. This is kind of cool. Actually, very interesting. Very interesting, dare I say. But again, special thanks to Wes from September 19th. Death might not be real. Quantum physics suggests it's just an illusion.
There we go.
Isn't that kind of cool, though? So what I think is really cool is the fact that I think that a lot of spiritualists and people, maybe philosophers, spiritualists, people with religious ideation and trust and faith and all that have been saying this for centuries. Look, that's not really the thing. This is just a journey, and we continue on. So I think it's neat that science might be catching up with that and validating that. So that's cool to me.
I agree.
So here we go. Let's see. For centuries, death has been viewed as the inevitable end of life, a natural conclusion where the body ceases to function and decays, and this is a biological factor of life. However, a new theory suggests that death, as we perceive it, may not be real and could merely be an illusion created by our consciousness. The observer shapes reality. Again, I don't think this is horribly long, but it might be a little longer, but it's interesting. All right, at the core of this argument lies a fundamental principle of quantum physics, the idea that the observer plays a crucial role in shaping reality. Numerous experiments, such as the famous double slit experiment, have demonstrated that particles behave differently when observed compared to when they are not. When scientists observe a particle passing through two slits, it behaves like a solid object, going through one slit or the other. However, Without observation, the same particle acts like a wave and goes through both slits simultaneously. This phenomenon implies that consciousness directly influences how we perceive reality. Yeah, that's amazing. When I first heard about that, I was like, what? That's it. That's the key. This idea is further supported by Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which states that it is impossible to measure both the position and momentum of a particle simultaneously. This limitation suggests that our reality is not as objective as we might think. The behavior of particles, and by extension the universe itself, may be shaped by the presence of an observer. Biocentrism and the role of consciousness. Biocentrism, a theory proposed by Dr. Robert Lanza, takes the quantum principles a step further. According to biocentrism, life and consciousness are central to the fabric of the universe. Lanza argues that space and time are not objective entities, but constructs of our consciousness. Yes, I agree. In other words, reality, including the concept of death, exists only because we perceive it. Biocentrism posits that death is merely a transport into another universe, bigthink.com says. Lanza's theory challenges our conventional understanding of life and death. If space and time are merely tools created by our minds to make sense of the universe, then death as a time-bound event may not be real. Instead, it could be a product of our limited perception. Is death an illusion? Evidence suggests death isn't the end. PsychologyToday.com. Immortality beyond space and time, or time and space, as it were. One of the most intriguing parts of this theory is the idea that immortality does not necessarily mean living forever in a linear sense, but rather existing outside of time altogether. Non-Euclidean time, of course. In a world where space and time are fluid constructs of consciousness, the concept of death loses its meaning. This idea aligns with recent quantum experiments showing that particles can communicate instantaneously across vast distances, as if space and time do not separate them. That's entanglement, yeah. These experiments suggest that boundaries we place on life, death, and the universe may be artificial, shaped by our perception, rather than by any fundamental laws of nature. If time and space are not as rigid as we believe, it opens the door to the possibility that death, too, is not a definitive end. Amen. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics offers another perspective on death. According to this theory, every possible outcome of an event occurs in a different universe. In this multiverse, all possible realities exist simultaneously, and this means that even if we die in one universe, we continue to exist in others. From this standpoint, death, as we perceive it, is not the end, but rather a transition to a different reality. Maybe that's what's happened with the Mandela effects. There's little clues of when we make these transitions that we didn't know happened. The idea that death is merely an illusion is created by our consciousness offers a new way of understanding existence. Quantum physics has already demonstrated that reality is far more complex and mysterious. Nonetheless, while Dr. Lanza's biocentrism provides a fascinating alternative to our traditional views of life and death, it lacks a solid mathematical foundation. Right, because you'd have to have a mathematical model that can exist beyond space and time. We don't.
So are they saying basically that it's possible that, like, and kind of what you're saying, the Mandela effect, that like potentially, like when you're having these moments of Mandela effect, that death is the passage from one reality to another?
Sure. Yeah, I guess so. Sure. For the observer, for the person.
Yes.
But death would be what we're left with, being the observer of the observer. You know what I mean? So like we see the ceasing of function for this life.
Yep.
But that life doesn't actually cease to function at all. It's just continuing. The consciousness goes. Again, the equation of, we are not our bodies. Our bodies are like just meat suits that we drive to have this experience. And then when we're done, this meat suit will turn back into the fundamental elements that it came from, And so it's you know what I mean? It's so the consciousness continues on and has more experiences in different facets of reality, so.
Got it. I hope I get to pick the reality and hope it's not at random.
Yeah. Spin the wheel, Sheldon.
Because why am I here?
I'm sorry.
In this one.
You're coming back as an emu. Dang it. I didn't want an emu. Oh, you never know. Yeah. Just saying. We don't necessarily know all the mechanics of it, but I do believe that there's a lot to this. Sorry for not being here lately. I watch, but don't always comment. No, it's okay, Miss Firejack. Thank you so much.
Oh, good to see you.
That's so sweet. You guys feel like you need to apologize for not being here. That's so amazing to me. I just love that you come and watch when you can, whether it's live or whether it's on a replay. However you watch, it just means the world to me that you watch when you're able to. And if you can't watch, I completely understand. Hell, there's times I can't even do shows because of life. So I don't expect any difference for you guys that you can't always be here. But thank you so much. That's very, very, very sweet.
You know what? Let's not leave anybody out. If you're watching this on the replay and you're in the future, hello. Hi. Hi, future. Hello, future you. How is it going tomorrow?
We're time travelers, Sheldon.
Hope tomorrow's going good for you.
What if it's next year? Hope you're
next year's
enjoying
going great for you.
2026. Glad you're still watching this show.
Yeah. If this is 20 years ago, oh my God. Hopefully things are great now.
If you're a bubble-headed alien watching us from the reaches of space, 20 billion years from now when the signal reaches you, hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Sarah Ramirez says something that scrolled off. Physical death is one thing we're guaranteed could happen each day. It's a powerful reminder from Santa Muerte. Yeah, the saint of death. Yeah. Or the death angels. Yeah. Or the reapers or the grim reaper. Yeah. I mean, it's a journey we're all going to take. That's the one constant guaranteed is that, we're not meant to be here permanently. We're just meant to experience here. So,
yeah.
On to the next. When that time comes, on to the next journey. Next adventure awaits. Right, Sheldon?
That's right. Always.
Yeah. For now, you're stuck being my kid, you poor guy.
Oh, no.
Speaking of spinning the wheel.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. All right, let's get to the next one here. This is also from Sasquatch Chronicles. I thought that was interesting, and this is also interesting. This one I thought was kind of funny. This is one Wes posted, but it says Egyptian tablet from 1250 BC shows people called in sick at work for silly reasons. Here we are thinking we're being creative. Like, oh, yeah, I got a flat on the way to work. Well, you could throw a tire on your chariot or something, I suppose. I was coming in and I hit a log and the wheel came off my chariot. Can't make it. Sorry. Let's see what this says. The tablet consisted of records of sick leaves, many the same as today. Others are mind-boggling. Taking sick leave is nothing new for employees. In fact, the practice has existed for centuries. A tablet from 1250 BCE, now housed in the British Museum, recorded the sick days and leave taken by Egyptian workers. According to My Modern Met, the tablet known as the Ostracon lists workers' names and reasons for their absences. While many excuses resemble those of today, some are quite surprising. The tablet documented 40 workers listing their names and dates of absence marked in red. According to Medium, the reasons were typical, like illness or caring for family, but others were more unusual. Several workers, for instance, reported being stung by scorpions. The list translated into English included over 20 reasons. One entry read, Ornifer, winter, 2nd month, 13th day, 17th day, through the 17th day, with the boss. Another worker had quite a few entries of absence. This guy was unemployed pretty quick. They were recorded Sawajit, I guess, spring, 3rd month, 23rd day through the 24th day with the boss. Spring, 4th month, 16th day. Daughter had her cycle. I can't go in. It's disgusting. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, that was really immature. My apologies. I'm not normally a full idiot. I just play one on the show. Winter, 1st month, 14th day, the 15th day, offering to the god. Winter, first month, 24th day through the 25th day, libation for father. Daddy needs some sauce. 26th day through the 28th day, with the boss. I don't know what with the boss means, but being with the boss or carrying out tasks for the boss was another repetitive reason for absence among workers. Another record is that of menstruation of the women in the family. The latter was taken from a different perspective back then, and men were required to be home during this time. Oh, okay. Learning a little bit about ancient Egypt. Other records consist of building the house, looking after parents, having other chores and tasks to do. Workers even excuse themselves to make offerings to God and other traditional practices or rituals such as the importance of the time. However, the most stunning reasons were the mummification of family members and beer brewing. Wow. I can't make it in today. Got some pale ale on the bench.
Some beer. Oh my God.
I'm making beer. I can't come in. While the former is no longer used in today's corporate world, the latter would cause a havoc if used as an excuse. However, for Egyptians, most tasks were crucial back in the day. Mummification was done as a traditional practice among Egyptians. Brewing beer was considered a duty since it was said to have been a daily drink. Wow, no wonder why they came up with pyramids. They started with cans and went, hey, that's a good shape. Let's make a bigger one. The beverage was deemed a principal food and was consumed for celebrations, festivals, per the British Museum. So even the ancient Egyptians said, nope, I'm not coming in. Workers at pyramids relied on beer and were granted 10 pints daily. That's a lot of beer.
Oh my God. Alcoholics everywhere.
These guys were wasted. They're walking around just pickled. Apart from its heavy consumption. Jesus, why couldn't I read that? Apart from its heavy consumption, I mean, it just went totally, I like stroked out there on that word. It was also associated with Egyptian gods. Hathor, the goddess of love, dance, and beauty, was also known as the Lady of Drunkenness. Oh. Given beer's importance, it's understandable that workers were excused to brew it. While several excuses resonate even today, many offer a dive into the Egyptians' rich culture and lifestyle at Alison Fisk. So that must have been by Alison Fisk, a post on X with an image of the tablet. She wrote, reasons were recorded for workers' absence in this 3,200-year-old ancient Egyptian attendance register, including brewing beer, stung by a scorpion, and embalming brother. There you go. We think we're being unique and clever today, but even the Egyptians were pulling this crap, guys. We got to come up with some new rodeo tricks here. We're not as smart as we think, Sheldon.
No,
but I never thought about embalming my brother. That might work. Guys, I can't do a show. Gotta embalm my brother.
The cycle one kind of makes sense though, because people
sure.
didn't have like medications as we do now to deal with certain things. So it was probably a lot worse.
Yeah, probably the way they handled the cramping was to like put the husband in a headlock and just, you're gonna deal with this. I can't make it to work, boss.
Transferring the pain.
Yeah, exactly. We share everything. Oh my God. Yeah. What do you do? What do you do? So those are two fun, different articles, interesting articles from Sasquatch Chronicles blog. Check out the blog, folks. I keep saying check out the blog, not just for the Bigfoot stuff, but for all of this goodness too. I mean, come on. It's a feast of fun over there on SasquatchChronicles.com.
That's right. There it is.
All right. There it is. And speaking of there it is, it's time for...
Oh, it is.
Whoa. I just caught that clip of what Tommy was saying up there in the chat. What? It says my neighbor was dying. It was pretty intense. I chased him with my shotgun. What the hell did I stumble into here, Tommy?
Probably is an excuse to get out of work.
Oh, that'll do it. Yeah. My neighbor's dying. Yeah, that's what buckshot does to somebody. I'm just kidding, Tommy. You know I love you, brother. All right. We're going to get to some of this cryptid stuff. And since we're already on Sasquatch Chronicles blog, we're going to continue because he's got one that's an upcoming guest he's going to have a show with. And this one sounds pretty interesting. I mean, I haven't read it. I'll read it with you, but everything Wes does on his shows is freaking interesting.
Yeah.
I'm a fanboy first and a friend second. All right, so let's get into this. Find out just what the hell's going on. All right, so we're going to start out at Sasquatch Chronicles blog and get into this one from September 20th, which is today. That is today, isn't it? God, it's already the 20th.
I know, it went by really fast.
Oh, like stupid fast, right?
But fall's coming. I've been seeing the trees turning.
Coming? It's here.
I mean, it's here. It's
Yeah.
here. But I've been seeing the trees really turning and leaves are falling. It's great.
Wow. Yeah. I know it's coming fast. Coming fast, folks. I'm not really anticipating that with any joy. However, I'm trying to embrace the change of seasons because I have no choice. They're going to change whether I like it or not. So I'm trying to find my grace in that. But honest to God, every fall, I love the fall. I love the Halloween season and stuff, and I love Christmas and all that stuff too. Snow is beautiful. It's just beautiful on TV, not when I have to live in it. And yeah, I'm really I do know about myself that I just feel so much better during the spring and summer, just personally. Like my personal energy is at such a much higher level. But in the fall and winter, I just feel like I'm lethargic and just don't have that same oomph. And so I think it has a lot to do with the atmospheric energy of those times. Snowmobiles, Tommy says. There you go. I mean, if I had snowmobiles, I'd probably love snow a lot more. I just don't.
I'm with Wizard. I mean, autumn. Oh, I am in love with autumn.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I know you always hated the hot summers.
Yeah. What?
always
Why
hated
would
it.
I want to sweat all day? Who wants to sweat all day? That's what makes me want to stay inside.
I'm raising
I
my
can go
hand.
outside.
That's why God made the air conditioners, dude. You just
Yeah, you're right. God did that. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
well,
That's
you know,
true.
I'm
That's
just
true.
saying you got to give thanks where it's due, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's why I have air conditioner. I don't have to sweat in it. I just like the energy of it, you know.
But autumn, you can go outside and be content.
But it's cold. It's starting to get cold. And up here, so up here, autumn is a dark and rainy time. Spring is usually very rainy and a lot of storms coming through and such. Summer's this big, long, dry spell usually with some rain. But the energy is just so high in spring and summer. But up here, man, it just gets dark and rainy. And it's then you head into the winter months when it's like 4 p.m. It's like it's getting
Then it gets
dark.
Yep.
And it doesn't start getting light until like 7 a.m., especially when you're ringed by mountains. So like the natural sunset happens like an hour earlier here because the sun's going behind the mountains. It's like, okay, it's shadowy. And it gets so dark so quick. And I don't feel, you know what I need, Sheldon?
What?
I need a house with a huge greenhouse attachment on it. That'd be like a terrarium and just fill it full of plants and like a little waterfall pool thing. And then I could just stay in there during the winter.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that'd be a good like a meditation room too.
I know, I'm telling you. If
Yeah.
I could get enough subscribers, I could make that happen.
Or if I win the lottery, I
Yeah,
need to do that.
there you go. Yeah, that'll work
Yeah.
too. Go ahead and win the lottery.
I'll keep playing. Yeah, I stopped for a while. I'll keep playing.
Okay. All right, let's get to this article, trying to rationalize what I've experienced. A listener writes, "Good morning, Wes. I'd like to introduce myself to you. I'd like to tell you about my brother and I's experience in the woods of Louisiana. Louisiana. I don't know if I already covered this one, but we're going to read it again if we did, because sometimes he posts them and then comes back and decides to do a show about it. First of all, it started with my brother, Josh, who was hunting at a wildlife management area, and he is at his portable deer blind and noticed an animal walk up to a fallen tree and squat down behind the tree and looked like it was foraging. Yeah, we definitely read this one before. I think even last show. So, but it's good. It's good to review. He started texting me about it, and I told him to try and record it the best he could. He wasn't sure if it was a bear or a man, and then it stood up and walked away. He called me and walked over to where it was and said that it left impressions in the mud, which he also recorded. And here's a video of the recording. Yeah, we did look at that clip, and then the guy goes on to say that the channel that covered embellished a lot of stuff, allegedly, according to this person. And submitted it to Bigfoot Evidence, who sent either himself or someone out there to meet Josh at the site. Well, they found foot impressions and possible dermal ridges, but I never saw them nor Josh after that day. I don't know. That's the part throws me. He didn't see, or maybe he means his brother never saw them either. Bigfoot Evidence seems to want to sensationalize his experience, adding details that were never discussed with Josh, which really caused him to not want to talk about his experience at all. In the video attached in the description, it says that Josh locked eyes with the creature for 15 minutes, and then it panicked and rushed out of the area. And that never happened. In March 2013, I came to visit Josh and convinced him that we should go back out there and at night and to do a Finding Bigfoot people do and do some tree knocks and whoops. So we did. And then they traveled to these coordinates that are on your screen and at approximately 9 p.m. that night on an ATV to see what we could see. And we made sure to make sure our flashlights were charged and brought a 2x4 to knock on wood. So we drove down this old logging road till we came to the fallen tree that laid across the road. We got off the ATV and waited in darkness for about 10 minutes. I told Josh I'd do my first long whoop and just see what happens. Well, I let out the call, and in the fair distance to the right of us, we hear some coyotes start yipping, but then far off in front of us, we hear a whoop back. I just told Josh, let's sit here in the dark. We sat in silence and listened as you do when you deer hunt. About 10 minutes pass, and I do another call, and we got an immediate answer to the front of us, but this time, it was closer. Josh starts to get excited and was asking what the hell was that. I told him, let's wait a little bit more, and then do a knock the wood against the fallen tree. We waited about 5 minutes, and I did 3 knocks, which we got a response kind of far off to the left in front of us. The woods go silent, dead silent. And we start to hear talking in front of us, almost like gibberish, and there are maybe 2 to 3 voices. One voice moves left of us, and the other moves right. It sounds like maybe 200 yards away, but growing louder. Josh turns on his flashlight to see if he can see anything, but the fallen tree is really in the way, and neither one of us wanted to be on the other side of this, separated from the ATV, but his flashlight begins to die pretty quickly, and it isn't very strong. So he turns it off, and we're both in darkness again, and we're hearing what sounds like walking towards us on both sides of the logging road. Then things start falling around us, thuds in the dirt in front of us, and we realize that sticks are being thrown. So we back towards the ATV, and I told Josh I wanted to try something, and I let out a scream call. And in an instant, we hear this deep growl to the right of us, and what sounds like a large body stepping into water. We freak out and get on the ATV, but we couldn't get it to start. It sounded like the woods came to life around us, and most definitely something on both sides of the road was moving towards us. It was the longest seconds of my life, sitting on the back of the ATV with my back into the dark. Well, he got it started, and we hightailed it out of there. We really haven't talked much about it, and I stopped going out at night and doing these calls. I used to do it with a few college kids. That was in my college ministry at the time, but I haven't seen that since that night. Our great-grandmother was Choctaw, and I grew up with her never letting us go out at night because that's when the old ones, is what she would say, would come out, and they took people. My father seen 2 in the Kisatchie Forest Preserve when he was around 20 years old, and I guess between him and my great-grandmother, I've always had an interest in the phenomena that surrounds this topic. Now, my family listen to your podcast sometimes when we're traveling for an hour or so, and we try to rationalize what people experience. And as I've tried to rationalize what I've experienced. So there you go. It was a repeat for us, but that will be an episode. So it'll be interesting to hear that guy tell the story in person. The old ones. Yeah, that's interesting. Does anyone know what if that SW video of a guy on a dirt bike is real? The crickets and everyone stop before he sees it. Really freaky. I don't know which one that is. SW. What's SW? Is that
Star Wars?
No, it's not Star Wars.
Just kidding.
Pretty sure she's not talking about Star Wars. You little Jedi.
I don't know. No, I'm not sure.
I don't know. Although, a Jedi could probably do some freaky stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
but one thing I've been thinking about recently.
Okay.
Are all these stories of the actual encounters, or I wonder how many of these stories is a survivorship bias scenario? Where, a lot of these stories give the impression that you have a close encounter with one, but they try to get you out. Mm-hmm. How many, disappearances have there been, of people? And
well, I
wonder how many of those is an encounter with a Sasquatch.
Yeah, there's no way to know, obviously, because there's no way to know what happened to those people. But yeah, you just look at the missing 411 David Paulides' work, and those could be.
I've seen that, and that makes me wonder. Like, I wonder how many of those.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whether it's a portal, whether it's a cryptid encounter, what the story is with that, as far as the reality of it goes.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. They're talking about skinwalkers, Brent. Maybe who's talking about skinwalkers, RJ?
Oh, SW Skinwalker.
Oh, Skinwalker. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, SW. Sorry, I'm not tracking very good.
That makes sense now.
Yep. I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's certainly possible. That's the case. I just don't know how. It would just be all speculation to say, well, I'm sure that such and such a number is probably Sasquatch. Nobody could know. I will say that, given the fact that, so many of the Sasquatch encounters are largely benign. Like you said, they try to maybe pressure people out, just like, get out. Because I imagine this is how they live in these forests. And then people are coming in, whoop, whoop, knocking on stuff.
God.
And meanwhile, they're trying to hunt for life, like they're trying to live. And they're probably working on, maybe corralling a herd of deer or something into a choke point, and then comes, whoop, whoop, yeah, whoop, whoop. It's like, oh, God, they're screwing everything up. So I imagine they get pissed. I would be pissed.
They start throwing stuff like, stop, leave.
Mommy, my tummy hurts. Well, the naked, the bald ones kept scaring away the deer. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. We don't know.
But I imagine that's how they're living. These are, enormous creatures anyway. And so their caloric needs have got to be pretty pronounced. Just going by a physicality aspect of them, because they at least, whether they're, all these other things we don't know, but at least we can be pretty sure they're physical. They leave prints, they eat, they've been observed eating roadkill and things like that. They've been observed taking down deer, hauling away other fauna. And so they do need to eat. And I imagine that they got to, work on getting food pretty consistently. And then people come in, and they're like, whoop, whoop, knocking and, bringing in all kinds of ruckus into their area that if they're there, they're probably not going to get fed that night. I'd be pretty freaking crabby too,
Oh, yeah, because, the sound of humans and the smell of humans can even drive everything away, even just the smell of us. Like, as far as prey goes, like deer.
Yeah,
whatever else.
Yeah, John Temperance says Bigfoot will stomp you like a grape if you wanted. Yeah, there's no question.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the big takeaway too. It's like, if they wanted people dead, there'd be a lot of missing people. There'd be no Sasquatch encounters. There would just be a lot of people that disappeared. You know, if they wanted you dead, you would be dead, you know.
One thing I wonder why they, I mean, why don't they? Why don't they just be like, oh, screw this? You know
Well,
what I mean?
I'm
Like,
sure. Well, here's the thing.
If it's true, most of the encounters are just like go away, you know, type of thing.
Here's the point, though. You know, and I think that they are smart. So the problem is when people go missing, what happens? Well, then there's thousands of people in an area combing it and pushing through, looking for one person. So I'm sure that, you know, as they've observed these things happening, they probably realized, look, when we took out Phil, all of a sudden the whole town came out here and we couldn't eat anything for a week, you know, because they were hunting in the woods looking for Phil. And so, you know, maybe they're intelligent enough to go, it's not worth it. Just let's try to get him out of here, you know?
Yeah.
So, because when one person goes missing, well, we send everything. We throw the kitchen sink at it. There's, you know, helicopters, there's dogs, there's people, you know, walls of people going through entire, you know, nature preserves. So I'm sure that displaces everything. So if they are intelligent, I'm sure they go, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Just
that's true.
Make them uncomfortable. Get them the hell
That is
out
one
of
thing
here.
I'm proud of humanity for, is that if even one person is
Mm-hmm.
gone, we send everything, every rescue attempt possible.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
just one person.
Oh, there's amazing people that, you know, that go out and look, and they're incredible. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yep. Well, all right. So we're going to get to, what are we getting to next? We're going to get to Phantoms and Monsters next, as a matter of fact.
Phantoms.
Phantoms and Monsters. Oh, I'm going to do I'm sorry that you're not going to be on tomorrow, Sheldon, because I was going to do a comments from the cheap seats tonight, but I didn't get to it in time.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
got a really snarky comment. Apparently someone takes issue with how I say Sasquatch. Why do you say Sasquatch? That's not how you say it. And I'm like, oh God, you know, really? Is this all you've got to say?
Tomato.
Yeah, I know. So I left a pretty colorful remark. Anyway,
Sasquatch I don't even think you say that.
Sasquatch. I don't know.
Oh my God, you actually do.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I guess it drives this.
Why do you
person-
do that?
Shut up.
He's so right. Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, your connection's not real solid tonight.
Sasquatch, Dad.
It's not Sasquatch. Jesus. What do you? Yeah. Anyway, I'll show it on tomorrow's show.
Okay.
If I remember. If I can get it done, I'll put it on there. But it's like, my God, you know, of all the things people could take issue with at the show, and there's plenty of them. I don't pretend the show is seamless and perfect, but how I say Sasquatch just pisses this person off. It's like, really? Good thing you don't live with me, because that'd just be the tip of that iceberg.
God, I'm literally never gonna unhear that. I didn't realize you say it like that.
I didn't really either, but this person kept pointing it out. I'm like,
I like the uniqueness though. I actually like that.
well, you know, I also say like didn't. You know, I don't say didn't.
That's how you say it.
Yeah, but I know that's exactly it. I've always impressed that on you. It's like, look, if you can say it correctly, chances are you can spell it, because at least you can hear the sounds. But when you know, a lot of people say didn't. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I always say didn't.
Yeah, well, you're my son. Of course you did.
Oh yeah. I suppose so.
You know,
you made sure I did.
Yep. Maggie says, Paranormal Portal, your answer was fire, though. Well, thank you. I mean, I just feel like, again, you know, if people are going to go out of their way to be dicks about something, then I'm going to go out of my way to be a little dicky right back. A lot of people don't read comments, you know, and probably for a good reason. Like, you know, you got to know that if you're going to do shows, you got to be ready to take them on the chin. And honestly, I was nervous when I first started doing the portal. I was like, God, you know, there's going to be crap comments. People are just going to blow their sack on me, and it's going to be like, that didn't sound right. Sorry. But anyway, God, I wish I could take that back, but I can't.
Okay.
Unrehearsed. But it actually, as I've read crappy comments, I usually start laughing. They usually crack me up. And so I'm like, well, good. You know, I guess I'm not too sensitive. That's, you know, that's good. But you do have to be ready to take them. if you're going to put yourself out there, there's going to be some idiot that's going to make a hobby out of you, or at least try to. So I always try to fire back. It's part of your charm, Brent. Yeah.
And he said a sack attack.
I wish life was like a comic book where you just got this word balloon and then you could just grab it back if it was wrong. It's like, oh God, that's not how I wanted to say that at all. Can't do it. Turns out it's just right to you guys at the speed of light. I celebrated my first crappy comment. Awesome, Grateful Owl. Welcome to the club. There's plenty of them out there. Isn't it your Minnesota speak? Yeah, I think it is. I think that's kind of my cousin Paul, he's from Michigan. He's down in Tennessee now, but he always used to make fun of the way we say boat. He'd go, oh, say boat again. Boat. Yeah, boat. But I think it's kind of Canadian-esque, I don't know how Canadians say, I think like Minnesota's like Canada light as far as our pronunciation. The only thing we don't do is attach A at the end of things as often, but I don't know if all Canadians do that.
Wait, us and Rachel probably speak similarly then.
Rachel, you're probably our people.
Rachel.
As
we're
well
one
as
of you.
Yeah. As well as Grateful Owl. I know she's up in the Canadas.
Oh, yeah.
She's a Canuck. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It is Canadian. Yeah. Sasquatch. I should say like what's his face? I want to see a Sasquatch. So
I know the voice. I can't remember the person.
Sean Connery.
Oh yeah.
Kinda. That's my Sean Connery. That's what your mother said last night.
Odd.
That's Saturday Night Live version of Sean Connery.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a classic comedy bit. Anyway, I'll just stick to Yowie, Maggie says.
There you go.
That's a good idea, Maggie. All right, well, let's get to this. I do want to hit this. I don't know what we got left for time here. Yeah, I'm going to read this anyway. We're going a little overtime because I want to read this one. I've been holding it for a couple of weeks, and I promised it last time. At least this one, because this is creepy as hell. And this is from phantomsandmonsters.com. This is Lon Strickler's site. Amazing site as well. Thousands of encounter stories. You can read about Lon's published works and find links to them if you want to buy his books, and check out their research efforts into a lot of the paranormal Fortean topics, as well as Lon's his own podcast, which is called Phantoms and Monsters Radio, which is also a YouTube channel. So check it out. What's it about, eh? What's it about? What's it about? Yeah. I got a boot for you. All right. Giant singing spider from the catacombs of Issoir. I don't know if that's how you say it. Issoir. Isiori. I don't know. I'll say Issoir. That sounds quite cultural, really. Potent potables. What the hell does that mean, Chucky? I don't even know what that means. Isn't potable like for water? Potable water is drinkable. Anyway, I received this this notice. I recently, Jesus, I'm just way off of the mark here.
Wow.
Let me start over. I got to have like a bouncing ball going over my words like it's karaoke. I recently noticed this old account. It's an interesting monster cryptid tale. Just go all Disney on it. That was reprinted in the Pequot Daily Call on August 18th, 1894. Wow, this is an old one. For many years, it was undeniably stated that in the 14th... what the hell word is that? What's an arrondissement? Arrondissement?
I'm curious now.
Somebody want to Google arrondissement for me? What the hell is this word? I was today old when I learned this word. Arrondissement.
Subdivision of income in some large French cities.
What was it?
The chief administrative subdivision of a department in France.
Okay, well there you go. It's like a community or some division of town in France. Of Paris, called the catacombs of Issoir. So a number of persons living in that quarter had mysteriously and periodically disappeared. The most careful researchers, the most minute inquiries, the most skillful agents of the police had failed to discover the least trace of them. I like how they used to write it. It's very poetic. Every year successively, some inhabitants of this quarter would suddenly disappear, leaving their friends overwhelmed with grief and anxiety. And it is also stated that these strange, inexplicable facts always occurred in the early spring from the 20th to the last of March, and without regard to age or sex. Gender, I think, is where they're going with that. Sorry, I had to do it. First, a notary disappeared. It was thought he had used his client's funds and fled to parts unknown. Then an old woman returning late one night from market was the next victim. Then a laborer going home from work. The last victim had been a young girl, a flower maker out late delivering her goods. Oh, that's sad. From that time, she had as completely disappeared as if the earth had opened and swallowed her up. Strange to say, no children had been among the victims. This peculiar fact was accounted for in this way. These mysterious disappearances always occurred late at night, and the children were at home asleep. As the time was drawing near for one of these periodical mysteries, the chief of police became very anxious and instituted a strict surveillance, confiding the matter to a number of the most skillful of his assistants, hoping the combined efforts of so many zealous agents would surely be crowned with success. You will now see the result. One night, this fact could be verified by applying to the office of the prefecture. A policeman, at about 3 o'clock in the morning, heard a distinct musical song, which seemed to come from the bowels of the earth. He listened and fancied the sounds came from an opening in the center of the street at the foot of an enormous rock called the Tomb of Iswar, or the Giant's Cave. It may be interesting to state that this rock derived its name from a legend that a great giant had been buried there many years before the Christian era, and this rock had been placed there to mark the tomb. Surprised at this strange discovery, for the opening had never been noticed before, the policeman waited, listened to this peculiar song, and he suddenly saw a young man approaching, and he knew from his costume that he was a countryman lately arrived in the city. This young man also seemed to hear the subterranean sounds, first walking slowly with a peculiar wavering step, as if in cadence with this musical chant, then faster and faster as he drew near the fatal rock, until he ran with such velocity that in spite of the warning cries of the policeman, he was swallowed up in this mysterious opening. Without taking a moment to consider, the policeman recklessly followed, first firing his revolver and giving off 1 or 2 vigorous blasts of his whistle. After this signal, several of his comrades quickly arrived. The musical chanting had ceased, but they could hear in the dark, cavernous depths the muffled sounds of a desperate struggle. By the aid of ropes and ladders, they succeeded in entering this mysterious chasm. The light of their lamps revealed a sickening sight. The countryman was lying on his back, writhing in the grasp of an unknown monster whose horrible aspect froze the agents of police with terror. It was as large as a full-grown terrier, covered with wart-like protuberances and bristling with coarse brownish hair. 8 jointed legs terminated by formidable claws were buried in the body of the unfortunate victim. The face had already disappeared. Nothing could be seen but the top of the head, and the monster was now engaged in tearing and sucking the blood from his throat. As soon as they recovered from their horror and surprise, a dozen balls struck the body of this sanguinary beast. He raised up on his legs, a greenish bloody liquid flowing from his wounds, and with a frightful cry, expired. The first policeman who had given the alarm was lying unconscious in the corner of the cavern, where he had fallen a distance of 30 feet, and it was with great difficulty they succeeded in removing the 2 bodies and the unknown monster from the cavern. The poor countryman was dead, but the policeman was soon restored to life. The agents immediately sent for the commissioner of police, who summoned a naturalist in great haste. The first established the identity of the victim. The second declared the creature lying before them a gigantic spider. The species had been considered extinct for centuries, ever since the days before the deluge. It was called Arachne gigans and was said to have the power of enticing its victims by a peculiar musical song. None had been seen or heard of for ages, but now it is now believed that some of these sanguinary beasts still exist in the deepest galleries of the catacombs. The dead body of the spider was conveyed to the Museum of Natural History, where it was carefully prepared and stuffed, and is now on exhibition. Note, this account reads like an Edgar Allan Poe allegory. Is it fact or fiction? The monster was carefully prepared and stuffed, and is now on exhibition. Well, I'm not so sure of that. If so, does anyone have an image or a supposed exhibit from Lon? So there you go. What do you guys think? Could there be?
If there's an actual, I mean, there would have to be an actual exhibit for it. Otherwise, according to the story itself, it's on display somewhere.
Chucky says, I don't do spiders. I don't mind the little ones, but it's the big man-sized ones that I do take umbrage with those.
Yeah, I don't need that cryptid at all.
Nope, I'm with you, but there's been a lot of stories. South America has stories of these dog-sized spiders running around.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll cook your bacon for sure.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, there it is.
God, it reminds me of The Mist. Nope.
The Mist. Oh, God, that was a horrible movie.
Ugh.
It was a very well done movie, but what a terrible ending.
It's a tragedy. Yeah,
Oh,
it's just a tragedy.
it's just the worst. That was the worst. Stephen King, damn you. You left me with that emotional scar. I still have it to this day. Anyway, there's a video out there of a huge spider. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, it's just so hard to tell. So hard to tell what to believe. There's a lot of crap out there, and there's a lot of CGI programs. I was just having a discussion with the Supernatural Station, Jaron, as a matter of fact, on a post that they made of this. Looks like this very angular, fissure in space over this desert, just sitting there, flashing, like making lights, and these light trails and beams coming from it. I'm like, I know what that is. That's Blender. That's Blender. There's a program called Blender, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to check it out, it's a free program. If you're into learning about CGI and stuff, go check it out. It's brilliant. It's really a professional grade CGI, but it's absolutely free. And there's a decent learning curve on it, but if you get good on it, you'll be able to make some pretty convincing, awesome effects. Now, I'm not encouraging people to learn it in order to do hoaxes, but I'm absolutely certain that that's what this video was, because I recognize some of the geometry nodes that they were using to make the effect. It's like, I know that one.
Oh, I see.
So anyway, if it's really good, I'm probably not playing it, RJ.
Oh, yeah, because RJ said they're making a survival game based upon The Mist.
Oh, are they really? Oh, God.
And nah, I'm good.
Gonna nope out of that. Trost got 20 stitches in his hand because of a spider. Oh my God. Yeah, that's horrible.
Ooh, yeah.
Trost, I should say. It's Jason Trost.
Trust.
It's just wonderful guys. Tommy and Jason are great. Again, check out the podcast if you haven't. It's my interview with them. The video podcast is currently available on YouTube and will be on Spotify and Rumble. Probably during the day tomorrow, I'll upload it, or maybe even yet tonight. We'll see how ambitious I get. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We did do a little bit of overtime.
That's right.
4 whole minutes I gave you guys.
Wow.
4. No extra charge. All for your listening and viewing entertainment. So hope you guys found value in all of this. Sheldon, anything to say in closing, sir?
Always. Guys, don't forget to check out the home base of the Paranormal Portal, paranormalportal.net, where you can keep up to date on all the new podcasts, new episodes, as well as when we're going to go live. And don't forget, you can have your own interview if you have an amazing story to share. Also, don't forget the Discord link I'm going to post right in the chat. Great community, great links, great discussions, all in one place. What more could you want? So I will post that as well in the chat, all right there.
RJ Windwalker says, I had a spider lay eggs in my leg.
Ah!
Yeah.
No!
Hey, Minion.
I didn't need to read that.
You need to read that?
I didn't need
It's too late. I told you verbally. That's horrible, RJ. What the hell kind of spider is that? And why does it think your leg is an egg sack? That's not good. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we got company in the studio. It's the Minion. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Good. You having a good night? Mm-hmm. Good. Well, we're just about to wrap up the show here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, thank you so much for spending some time with Sheldon and I tonight, and now the Minion. And you're getting to see a whole bunch of my family tree all in one place. Lean in, Minion, so you can see you. It's all of us. There we are. It's almost a family picture. But anyway, I'm missing a few people. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys follow. Again, if any of you have stories, wouldn't mind being a guest on the podcast, I'd love to talk to you. Just head over to paranormalportal.net, hit the interview me button, and it'll bring up my calendar app. And you can pick a date and time that works for you, and we'll connect, and I'll hear your story. We'll talk about it. So, but anyway, it was a brown recluse. Ooh. Yeah, those are not good. Those are not good. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. I've got all kinds of mental images now that I don't need, and I'm going to go drink some screwball and see if I can get rid of them. I'm just kidding. But anyway, that's all we got time for. So, in closing, remember, we love you all. Right?
Yeah.
He's a natural. You are a natural. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. Remember to laugh as much as you can. And what? Like and subscribe?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And share the news. Share the shows. But love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow night. It's just me and you guys. So we'll dive into another 2 hours and see what kind of hell we can mix up then. I'll try to get that comments from the cheat sheets done. And until then, good night, everybody. That's all I got. I'm a sweaty mess. It's time to be done. Until next time.